I'm Latoya Burrows, and this is your Adventist News, a service of the South Bahamas Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. Coming up in the news, Adventist youth receives prestigious award, our Pathfinder band goes on a big city mission trip, and men put their hands to the plow in the South Bahamas. These stories and more on this week's Adventist News. I'm Latoya Burrows. Thanks for joining us for your Adventist News. Our very own Wilfred T. Adderley II was dubbed Young Diplomat of the Year at the 11th Diplomat Awards ceremony in late April. The award was presented to him by His Excellency Khalid Al-Duwaisian, GCVO, who is the ambassador for Kuwait and the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps. The event, put on by the Diplomatic magazine, was held in the United Kingdom and was attended by ambassadors, high commissioners, and dignitaries from around the world. At home here in the Bahamas, Pastor Jamal Franklin, Youth Director for the South Bahamas Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, offered congratulations on behalf of the Youth Department and the conference at large to the awardee. He emphasized the importance of youth programs in the church that prepare our young people for service in the Bahamas and the world. Pastor Franklin said, "The Seventh-day Adventist Church is indeed preparing ambassadors to serve not only the church, but their community. It is our hope that the youth of our church would continue to work and persevere so that they could attain the highest honor of being crowned a citizen of heaven." Wilfred Adderley II is the eldest son of retired pastor in the Seventh-day Adventist Church in the South Bahamas, Dr. Wilfred Adderley, along with his wife, Mrs. Sheila Adderley. Recently, the Pathfinder band of the South Bahamas Conference of Seventh-day Adventists set out on a big city mission trip to Tallahassee, Florida, at the Maranatha Adventist Church, where a Bahamian-born pastor, Pastor Ricardo Bain, presides. The band's journey took them into the Jesus in Jeans Community Outreach Project, and they ministered to several congregations in song. We are proud of our Pathfinder band, who has been ministering for over 30 years under the leadership of Kirk Price and the recent leadership of Obed Daddis and the assistant director in charge of Pathfinders, Patrick Wilson Jr. The ages of the youth in the Pathfinder band range from 12 years old and above. The Adventist men and boys from the churches in the South Bahamas Conference came together this past Sunday in a joint effort to clean, construct, and repair Camp Bamivoca on New Providence. The men brandished tools and worked in unity toward the goal of realizing a new and improved campsite for our members to enjoy. Adventist men's leader for our conference, Elder Curtis Bryan, would like to say a special thank you to all who supported the Hands to the Plow initiative with their expertise and helping hands. Bryan says that the vision will not come alive without you. A team of ASI, that's the Adventist Laymen's and Service Industries, volunteers, and Adventist health professionals from the South Bahamas Conference traveled to Great Harbor Key in the Berry Islands in the North Bahamas Conference to conduct the Berry Islands Health and Wellness Expo. There were free health screenings at the expo, along with plant-based cooking classes. They discussed topics on how to manage and prevent diabetes, cholesterol, and high blood pressure. Also in the north, the Adventist men on the island of Abaco came together to work on the construction of the fire station in the Crossing Rock community of South Abaco. Pastor Watson, Youth Director of the North Bahamas Conference and resident pastor in that community, coordinated a team of skilled masons and builders in working on the project. The initiative is in conjunction with the local government officials in South Abaco and the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and they are doing what they can to help develop the community. When we come back, we'll have more of the upcoming events in our conference.
You cannot put put your spiritual life on layaway while you live a life of sin and convenience. For in the economy of God, that which you reap, you will also sow. He still does what he says he wants to do in your life. God is not interested in watching us suffer, but better yet, he is trying to give us the desires of our hearts. People know that you don't have to fight it because God will fight it for you. That you don't have to worry because God will take care of it for you. That you don't have to stress because God has it in his hands. Is looking for some people who is saying, despite the circumstance, despite my disposition, I don't care what it feels like or what it looks like, God is worthy of my faithfulness, that God is still worthy of my gratefulness, that God is still worthy of everything I have to offer. And the enemy will be confused because he will be trying to take me out, but I'll be praising God.
Coming soon. The South Bahamas Conference is having a children's retreat from June 7th to the 9th, 2019 at the Adventure Learning Center campsite on Marshall Road. It's a weekend of spiritual application and fun for children ages 7 to 14 years old. There will be games, great food, biblical lessons, prizes, and campfire sing-alongs. Don't miss it. Register by May 17th. Check with your local Charms leader for more details.
A left-brain man would never have dumped all of that perfume on Jesus, because men think logically and men think rationally. And as soon as Judas started berating this woman, each of the other disciples caught the contagion flu. Because when you hang around negative people, you become negative. Say amen, somebody. When you hang around cantankerous folk, you become cantankerous. When you hang around immoral people, you become immoral. When you hang around evil people, you become evil.
Welcome back to your Adventist News. We would like for you to mark these dates on your calendar now. The Adventist men will join forces with the women of our conference in Eleuthera during May 17th to the 19th, and it promises to be an exciting time on the island. So if you would like to be a part of this mission trip, you are invited to inquire with your leaders. The desire is to impact the entire island. The SBC Adventist Media Network is gearing up for their annual Pledge-a-thon to be held during the month of May to early June. We are excited, and we would like for you to begin planning now to do what you can to support this ministry as we take God's message to all the world through Word SBC 88.3 FM, ATV 658, our weekly newspaper insert in the Nassau Guardian, and on our website, Facebook, and Twitter pages. Call us and see how you can contribute. The Children and Adolescent Ministries Department will be having a retreat under the theme Treasure Hunt, Finding All You Need in Jesus. Children, you don't want to miss this time of spiritual enrichment, adventure, and fun to be held at the Adventure Learning Camp Center grounds from June 7th through 9th, 2019. The children will participate in spiritual interactive lessons, campfire sing-alongs, adventure time, games, and more. You are encouraged to register your children ages 7 through 15 by May 17th through your local charm leaders. Also during June 7th through 9th, the youth of our conference, ages 16 to 35, will be in retreat under the theme The Fantastic Four. Family, friends, foe, and feelings at the New Providence Community Center on Blake Road. Guest speaker for this Ignite Youth Retreat is Pastor Anthony Bolden from Chicago, Illinois. Registration continues until May 22nd, so youth, inquire about this today. The ASI convention for the Inter-American Division will take place on August 21st through the 24th, 2019 at the Atlantis Resort, Paradise Island. Registration is already in progress. For more information, please call 556-0492. For more information on these events and more, visit the conference website at southbahamasconference.org, where you can view the news as well as other programming, read the weekly logos, or please feel free to call our headquarters at 242-341-4021.
Breastfeeding, also referred to as nursing, is the feeding of babies and young children with the milk from the mother's breast. This is said to be the best milk for the child because it is full of nutrients and is the perfect mix of proteins, vitamins, and fats, all these of which your baby needs to grow. WebMD states that breast milk in most cases is more digestible than infant formula. The antibiotics found in breast milk help babies to fight off viruses and bacteria, and also a baby's risk of asthma and allergies are lowered. When a baby is breastfed exclusively for 6 months without formula, they have fewer ear infections and respiratory issues. When it comes to breastfeeding, the close skin-to-skin touch and the eye contact will help your baby bond better with the mother, making them feel more secure. Breastfeeding not only benefits the baby, but it benefits the mother. It helps her to burn extra calories to aid in faster burning of pregnancy weight. The hormone oxytocin is released, allowing the uterus to return to its normal pre-pregnancy size, and her risk of breast and ovarian cancer are lowered. With breastfeeding, there is no more buying and measuring of formula and no more sterilizing of bottle nipples. For mothers who may be taking prescription drugs, it is advised that you ask your doctor before breastfeeding. Having the cold or flu does not prevent you from breastfeeding. Milk does not contain the virus, and breast milk actually helps the baby fight off illnesses. Cons associated with breastfeeding are: breastfeeding causes sore nipples. To prevent this, make sure your baby latches on properly and use one finger to break the suction of your baby's mouth. Some mothers worry that they are not producing enough milk, but a baby who is wetting 6 to 8 diapers a day is most likely getting enough milk. Also, the thought that the bigger your breasts, the more milk you produce is false. Some small breast women can produce just as much milk as big breast women. And lastly, breast engorgement happens when the breast is filled with milk. This is completely natural and healthy, but can cause hard, painful, swollen breasts. To get relief, simply use ice packs or hot showers, which can help to release milk, whether by hand or breast pump. Breastfeeding is God's magnificent design. Let us live out God's ideal for His children. This has been Parisha Ferguson with your health tip, courtesy of Adventist Television. And remember, God wants us to prosper and be in good health.
Let's go now to the Adventist News Network for our news feature from around the world.
Thank you so much for joining us this week.
After making landfall in the eastern state of Odisha, India, Cyclone Fani continued its path into Bangladesh on Saturday, May 4th, destroying thousands of households and leaving towns submerged under floodwaters.
The Cyclone Fani is said to be the strongest typhoon to hit these two countries in the last 5 years. After hitting land on Friday, India's meteorological department said Fani lost power and was downgraded to a depression.
Local reports in Bangladesh have said more than a dozen people died and 63 people were injured. More than 1 million people were moved to evacuation sites to avoid higher casualties.
Adventists in Bangladesh are working through the Adventist Development and Relief Agency in Bangladesh to help those impacted by the storm.
Days prior to cyclone's landfall, ADRA Bangladesh began monitoring the situation and the team began preparing for rapid assessment in order to respond immediately to the cyclone.
ADRA Bangladesh is working closely with local government units, nonprofit organizations, food security clusters, shelter clusters, and churches to identify the immediate and greatest needs of those impacted.
That's right. Basic needs such as ready-to-eat food, makeshift shelters, bedding, water, medicine, and clothes are greatly needed for distribution.
You can learn more about ADRA Bangladesh, about what ADRA Bangladesh is doing after Cyclone Fani, and how you can get involved at adrabangladesh.org or at adra.org.
That's it for our Adventist news from the South Bahamas Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. We thank you for sharing your news stories and upcoming events with us, and we encourage you to continue by emailing them to sbcadventistnews@gmail.com or by calling our media department at 242-341-4021. For a rebroadcast of the Adventist news, please visit the conference website or on our Facebook page. On behalf of our production team of Adventist Television Channel 658, thank you for watching this week's broadcast. I'm Latoya Burrows for the SBC Media Network. Have a happy Sabbath.